All right, these are the live visuals on our screen right now of the Prime Minister who is at Netaji Bhawan inside the museum. And he is on a day-long visit to Kolkata to commemorate the Parakram Diwas on the 125th birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. And the latest visual on the screen right now of the Prime Minister, in fact, visiting the Netaji Bhavan as well. And shortly from now, we are also expecting the Prime Minister's address as well. After this, he will be visiting an artist's gallery as well, where he will be taking forward the day-long celebrations of the Parakram Diwas as commemorated by the centre as well. All right, these are the latest visuals also on your screen right now. And even as we speak, the Prime Minister will be inaugurating a permanent museum as well in Kolkata today to dedicate to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose on the freedom fighters' 125th birth anniversary. The West Bengal Chief Minister also had held a massive rally in the city to mark Netaji's birth anniversary. Going back to our senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor. Abhishek, we are getting in these visuals from inside the museum of the Prime Minister visiting it.
Well, yes, Richa. So, as we were discussing, Prime Minister has a packed Kolkata schedule where he would be, he has just begun with this visit and a go around of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's family home, from where he was, where he was under house arrest, and from where he went on his exploits via Afghanistan to Germany and Russia, and then he set up the Indian National Army, traveled in a submarine from Germany onwards to Japan, and then set up his base there. And then he was marching towards India, and he did play some role in making the British realize that their days were numbered and forcing them to come to the negotiation table with the freedom leadership. Now, what Prime Minister has done is that with his personal involvement in the Netaji projects, be it the declassification of files or be it the INA Museum at the Red Fort in New Delhi, or this declaring Parakram Diwas on Netaji's birth date every year. And then, of course, he's also heading the committee that would oversee the year-long celebrations to mark the 125th year of Netaji's birth. I think the Prime Minister is bringing focus back on that aspect of freedom movement, which was given a bit of a short shrift, I would say, in the fact that Netaji was kind of shown as a satellite in terms of his contribution to India's independence and not a key person. While the fact of the matter is that there were some machinations because of which he was forced to move on and leave the Congress party. For example, the Haripura session of the Congress in 1938, about which Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted yesterday, was one Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose being seated. Perhaps that caused some heartburn. And then within a year, from the Haripura session in 1938 to the Tripuri session in 1939, everything changed. And we know from history that Netaji came on a stretcher at the Tripuri session, and then despite him getting popular votes, Mahatma Gandhi decided that Pattabhi Sitaramaiah should be heading the Congress party, and he said that, and then when Bose defeated Pattabhi Sitaramaiah, Netaji realized that Mahatma Gandhi was not liking the result. So there was an element of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose not being liked by the pacifist Congress leadership led by Mahatma Gandhi. And he then decided to, to move on and do his own thing, which was that he traveled and set up the Indian National Army, which had its own contribution. Now, what is important is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is making an attempt to mainstream Netaji's contribution. 125th year of Netaji provides that opportunity. As we were discussing earlier, Richa, you were there in the discussion with the family. They would say, Bharat Ratna is a little controversial, so maybe Paramveer Chakra could be given to Netaji for his contribution. More befitting because he was ultimately a general who set up the Indian National Army and led it from the front. Also that a revisiting of history textbooks should also happen.
Right.
So I think those are important aspects which perhaps could be looked into during this one-year-long celebration, and the Prime Minister helming the committee could contribute to that.
Absolutely. And in fact, speaking specifically about the history, Abhishek, while we are paying tributes on his 125th anniversary, but we spoke to the family as well, the daughter and the nephew of Netaji, who stated that for them, the Bharat Ratna does not really keeps much importance, but at the same time, they would like to know and they want the information to be declassified so that they know what exactly happened in those last days of Netaji.
Well, yes. So that's important. In fact, Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, while trying to diss the political aspect of it insofar as declaring Jan 23 as Parakram Diwas is concerned, said that we know about the date of birth of Netaji, but don't know about where he passed away. Now, there is a reason. There are two commissions that have looked into it, the Khosla Commission and the Mukherjee Commission, and both remain inconclusive insofar as unanimity of opinion is concerned. So we see that while we were discussing, Richa, that the family is okay with the Renkuji temple theory, which is that Netaji passed away in a plane crash in Taiwan, and that his ashes are now preserved at the Renkuji temple in Tokyo, on the outskirts of Tokyo in Japan. And then the other theory that he survived that air crash, traveled onwards to Mongolia and then to Russia, and from there he ultimately came back to India and spent his last days as Gumnami Baba in Faizabad. So remember, just a couple of years back, a museum had come up at Faizabad, Ayodhya, by the then Akhilesh government. So there is a big section of population which still believes in that Gumnami Baba theory. So it's important that we take the opportunity of 125th year of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's birth anniversary, and do something to put those theories to rest, or at least pick one, as Anita Fayad, the daughter of Netaji Bose, told us during our discussion.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for getting us that entire perspective. We'll keep coming back to you for more, even as the proceedings and the celebrations even as proceed further. And these are the latest visuals on a screen right now of the Prime Minister at the Netaji Bhawan.